we have heard about the overview of Bhagavatam, and then how Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself, and then the whole nutshell of Bhagavatam in 1 hour, the summary of Bhagavatam, and then first canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto. Now we are in the fourth canto. Okay? So in this fourth canto of Bhagavatam, we have heard about Sati Devi, Daksha Yajna, and then we have heard about Dhruva Charita and the descendants of Dhruva. After Dhruva Charita, now we are coming to Priti Charita. We started, right? We heard something about Prithu Maharaj, how Prithu Maharaj was coronated and how he was nicely taking the welfare of his citizens, and how he got all the grains and the wealth from the earth too, and how he performed Ashwamedha Yajna. And in the last Katha, we have heard how Prithu Maharaj has won the hearts of everybody there. Though he lost the number 100, he won the hearts of everybody there, including Indra and Lord Vishnu. So in that way, Prithu Maharaj came out very glorious, that Ashwamedha Yajna, right? So after that Ashwamedha Yajna, then he was returning to the kingdom, and then we discussed about how he was addressing his citizens there, right? And when he was addressing, he was saying, see, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to set an example here. So you, all of you citizens also, you please try to follow the same. All of us together, let's do Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Let's do our responsibilities. So Hari is Toshanam. Lord Hari is satisfied, happy with our discharge of responsibilities. Until then, we have heard last time. Remember, Prithu Maharaj was asking when Lord Hari, Shri Hari appeared in the sacrificial arena. He was asking, Mahat Antargatena Mukhachuto. He was asking these boons. One is to please give me the association of this Mahat, pure devotees. Antargatena Mukhachuto. So when they speak, whatever is there in the core of the heart gets landed in my ears. So please give me the association of those devotees. That was the first boon he has asked, right? So that is going to happen. Now we'll be talking about, we will be hearing about that, how that boon came through. How did Prithu Maharaj end up getting the association of this Mahat, these pure devotees? And the second boon Prithu Maharaj was asking was to please engage me in serving your lotus feet, right? So please give me that boon that I can continue my devotional service as I hear Mahat Katayana Antarmukhachito, as I hear from the pure devotees about your devotional service. Please let me engage in your loving service. That was the second thing the Maharaj asked. So that is also going to happen today. We will hear about that. How Prithu Maharaj, not only as he mentioned during his speech to the citizens, not only he was setting an example to do Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, to do his Kshatriya responsibility to please the Lord. That is also devotional service as he was living. But after quitting the body also, how he quits the body and goes to Vaikuntha to continue his devotional service there, that we will hear today. So that is the connection. The two boons that he has asked Lord Hari is going to come true today. We will hear that. So, and the sequence is, now that Prithu Maharaj has come back to his kingdom, right? And he was talking to all his citizens, and his speech was over, and everybody was very satisfied with him. And all the priests, the priests and brahmanas that were present there, they blessed him, and all the citizens, they applauded him. All that was over. And just then, 4 brilliant personalities descend down from Marjana Tapoloka, Satyaloka. The 4 Kumaras, they descend down to the same place where he was addressing all the citizens and everything was happening. They descend down in his courtyard. And then what happened? So this is the Sangha that Prithu Maharaj was asking to Lord Hari, to please give me the Sangha of the Shuddha Bhaktas. That we are going to hear now. Okay? So let's see what happened in the courtyard of Prithu Maharaj. So that is 4 Kumaras. So those are the brilliant personalities. The 4 Kumaras sitting on the throne. Sanat, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, Sanandana. The 4 Kumaras, Mahajanas. Yeah? So they descended down, and that's Prithu Maharaj sitting there. So as the 4 Kumaras arrived, Prithu Maharaj, and look at him, he's not a king anymore. He has become a Sishya. There's no crown on his head, and his dressing is so simple. Now he's a Sishya, right? So as Kumaras arrived there, Prithu Maharaj went eagerly to receive him. Very eagerly, with all respect. Received them and seated them on the asana, there on the throne, and washed their feet and sprinkled water on his head and sprinkled the same water on the heads of the people around him. So in this way, Prithu Maharaj received them very respectfully and eagerly. And he was saying, what is my fortune that I have your darshana? It is very rare that a sense gratifier like us can get the darshana of Mahajanas like you, who are beyond the senses, who have transcended all this sense gratification. This reminds us of Prataparudra Maharaj. He was so thadpare. He was so eager to get the darshan of Gauranga. But all the sannyasis, the Mahajanas, they see any contact with the materialistic people or sense gratifiers is like a contamination for them, because they are very swacha, pure, and anything to do with the senses is impure. So somebody who is engaging in sense gratification is impure. So that is why all these great souls, they are not very much inclined to be with sense gratifiers. Yeah. So though Prithu Maharaj is exemplary, he's still belonging to one of this, Varna and Ashrama. He's in the Grasta Ashrama. Now he's heading to Vanaprastha after the responsibilities are over. Yeah. And he's a Kshatriya, not even Brahmana. So in that way, the darshana, association of these Mahajanas to the sense gratifiers is not very common. It is rare, and it's a fortune. Yeah. And these Mahajanas, these Vaishnavas, when they come in and when they give their association and darshan, Prithu Maharaj is saying, when we are pleasing you, Vipras, the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, it is receiving favor from Lord Vishnu and Shiva because you're dear to them. So only fortunate householders who receive you like this eagerly and respectfully, only those householders are fortunate. So fortunate are those householders who know your value and receive you with all eagerness and respect. What is the use of the householders, even though they are rich, if they're not eager to receive you? They're very unfortunate. So Prithu Maharaj is teaching us how, regardless of how much we have, how rich we are or how poor we are, what matters is our attitude. How are we viewing these personalities, these Vaishnavas that have dedicated their life to Bhagavan, these enlightened souls? How are we viewing them and how are we receiving them? That is more important than how much are we giving them. Rich people, if they have something, they can give, but that will be only for their purification. If they are offering something, some wealth or something material to the Brahmanas, it is for their purification. Otherwise, whatever wealth they have, it will remain as karma phala. But only when they offer it to the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, then it would become as an offering. So it is in their best interest that they have to offer, the Grihasthas have to offer something to these devotees that have dedicated their life to Bhagavan. So it is in our best interest to do that, not that they are being favored, they are getting benefited. We are getting benefited by offering something to them, whatever to our capacity. So that is for our good. Yeah, that is when we are considered fortunate, as Prithu Maharaj is saying. That is in regards to the our material assets or whatever we have materially getting purified by offering. And what else is there? Why so much of reception and why so much of eagerness to receive them? All these pure devotees, when they're traveling around, they carry the transcendental truth, absolute truth in their heart. And we are caught up in this material world because we lack that absolute truth. So when we please them by greeting them like this, then they will have some, their heart becomes soft and they'll show some kindness to us. So the absolute truth that they are carrying will be dissipated to us, given to us. So in that way, both materially and spiritually, we get benefited when we receive these Vaishnavas, these Mahajanas like this. That's why Prithu Maharaj is saying, fortunate are those Grihasthas when they receive you like this. And then after that, Prithu Maharaj is very humbly asking a question to these four Kumaras. His Mrishtam, Ghodam, Prithu Maharaj's speech, again and again it was said how sweet, concise, and meaningful his words are. So in the same way, he was asking, as he spoke to the citizens, Mrishtam, Ghodam, like that, in the same way, the same quality of the speech, he was asking to these Mahajanas, to four Kumaras, can there be any good fortune for us? We are fallen in this samsara. So his question was, for sense gratifiers like us, where is the possibility that we can come out of this samsara sagara? How can one get rid of this material suffering and come out of this sense gratification? How can that good fortune happen? So can you please tell us the way of obtaining that good fortune for those sense gratifiers who are busy in sense gratification and suffering as a result of that? Then Prithu Maharaj also says, Vyaktam atmavatam atma bhagavan atma bhavanaha swanam anugrahaye mam siddharupa charati ajaha. Bhagavan himself, swanam anugrahaye mam, to give anugraha to the people, siddharupa charati ajaha. He walks like this in your form as Siddhas. Bhagavan himself is coming to give anugraha to us in the form of these siddhas. And that is why his eagerness is to receive them. And that is why all the respect is. So he says that. And then he asks this question. Here Vidura also, in the third canto, after he comes from Uddhava, as he was talking to Maitreya, he says the same thing. We have these devotees that have dedicated their lives to Bhagavan. Here in the case of Prithu Maharaj, that is 4 Kumaras. For us, in our case, we have many advanced devotees and many sannyasis. All these advanced devotees, they have dedicated their life to Bhagavat Seva. They are living only to serve Bhagavan, right? And Vidura says there, Anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. Janasya vimukha krishnasya daiva sudukhitasya. This janasya, they are krishnasya vimukha. They have turned away from Krishna. They are showing vimukha to Krishna, not samukha but vimukha. Vimukha is turning away from Krishna. Janasya Krishna vimukasya daivat. Adharmasilasya sudukhitasya daivat. Because of the influence of the external energy, adharmasilasya sudukhitasya. All these jana, all these people have become adharma. They're not following dharma. And sudukhitasya. So as a result of that, they are dukkhitasya. They are in miseries. So to them, anugrahayena charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. To show anugraha to them, charanti, they wander, they travel, they wander throughout the globe. Charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani. Bhutani is all these conditioned souls. To give anugraha to these conditioned souls, these bhutani bhavyani janardanasya, the people of Janardana, the people of God, God's people of Janardana, to give anugraha to all the people who are engrossed in the sense gratification, in these material affairs, to give them the mercy. That is why the charanti nunam, they wander. So this is the purpose, this is the visit of any advanced devotee who has given their life to the seva of Krishna, Bhagavat Seva. Because we have turned away from Krishna, Krishnasya vimukhat, and because we are suffering, they are coming to help us turn towards Krishna. So that's why it is their mercy that we are getting their darshan, their association. So that is something to remember and reciprocate accordingly. When we see a devotee who has dedicated their life to Bhagavan, this is what it means, that they have come to give us the mercy. So offering to them would be purification of our wealth, and their sangha will be purification for our consciousness. So it is their causeless mercy that we have their sangha. So this is how Prithu Maharaj has received. And then he asks this question. Can you please say, what is the hope for the sense gratifiers to come out of these miseries? So when Prithu Maharaj is asking these questions, these are not personal questions, right? These great souls like Prithu Maharaj, their thought, their word is all for the welfare of the people. So his question is also like that. He is not a sense gratifier. It was clear. And we will see what Kumaras also say. But he was asking for everybody. So this is the conversation of the great souls. the enlightened souls, and those souls that think about the welfare of the people. So in this way, Prithu Maharaj has asked that question. And this is why their meetings are beneficial to all of us, those souls that are trapped in these modes. So the four Kumaras, then Sanat Kumara, he was responding to the question of Prithu Maharaj. He says, Asti eva rajan bhavato madhudvishaha Padaravindasya gunanuvadane Ratirdurapa vidunoti naishtiki Kamam kashayam malamantaratmanaha. Sanat Kumara says that. Asti eva rajan, O Raja. Asti eva, you are certainly, bhavato, you, madhudvishaha padaravindasya gunanuvadane. You are already situated pada aravindasya gunanuvadane, in relishing the guna of Aravinda pada, lotus like the feet of Madhudvishaha, Lord Hari. Ratir Durapa. This Ratir, this attachment to the lotus feet of Lord Hari, to be absorbed in the guna anuvadane, in relishing the transcendental qualities of the lotus feet of Lord Hari, this attachment is Durapa, is very rare. You are already situated there, Maharaj Prithu. Vidunoti naishtiki. Vidunoti is cleansing. Vidunoti naishtiki kamam kashayam malamantaratmana. So, when somebody is absorbed in the thoughts of the transcendental qualities of the lotus feet of the Lord, what does it do? Vidunoti naishtiki kamam. The lusty DS. Any sense gratification is kamam. Any desire that is wanting to have anything in this material world is common. It doesn't have to be only to the physical body. Anything from this material world, if that is desired, that is common. Kamam kashayam, the hard-heartedness. Malam antaratmana. Malam is dirt. Antaratmana, that is present in the inner core of the heart. So all this kamam, the sense gratification and hard-heartedness that is present in the heart of the conditioned souls is washed away. Vidunoti is washed away, is displaced, is purged out when we are voluntarily filling the thoughts of the transcendental qualities of Lord Hari. And the foremost transcendental quality of Lord Hari that a conditioned soul could relate to is the mercy, the love and mercy of the Lord. So as much we are absorbed, as much as we are drinking the thoughts of the Lord's mercy and love and kindness and reciprocation, so much will be the malam of our antaratma, the dirt of our antaratma, and the hard-heartedness of our heart will be washed away. Bhakti is about this, filling ourselves with bhakti rasa, so the material rasa can be displaced. We don't struggle with material rasa separately and see how it can be resolved. No, that will be displaced. Our focus is to fill ourselves with bhakti rasa. Padaravindasya gunanuvadani. So that's what Kumara said. You already are doing Padaravindasya gunanuvadani, and then that's why that has the potency to wash away this kamam kashayam malamantaratmana. After all, they say, this human body, the only benefit of this life is to detach from the bodily concept and attach to the Lord. Janasya Krishnasya Vimukhat. From Krishnasya Vimukhat to Krishnasya Samukhat. Krishnasya Vimukhat is turning away from Krishna. It means attaching to the body, to the material things, the bodily concept. It means attaching to the thoughts that are material. Attaching and entertaining those thoughts that entangle us in this material world. That is the misery. So our purpose of human life is to detach from those thoughts that are entangling us to the material world, to the raga and dvesha of this material world, and attach our thoughts, fill our thoughts about the Lord, the bhakti rasa, drinking the bhakti rasa. So Sanat Kumara is saying the only benefit of this human life is to detach from bodily concept and attachment to the Lord. And when we kind of zoomed in and then see how exactly to do that, detachment from bodily concept is not entertaining any of those thoughts that entangle us to this material, raga and dvesha, of things or people, but filling those thoughts with the Lord, so all the thoughts are attached to the Lord. That is the purpose of human life. That's what Sanat Kumara is saying. And now he says, how to do that? This is again sadhana bhakti, right? So if we look at it, what Sanat Kumara just spoke about Pradhu Maharaj is Raga Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, Raga Bhakti. Padaravindasya Gunanuvadane. He's already up there. He is absorbed in the Gunanuvadana of Padaravindasya Raga Bhakti. For those who are not there yet, now they're saying, this is what you do. These are the do's and don'ts. All the do's will help you to attach to the Lord. All the don'ts will help you to detach from this suffering world. So what are those do's and what are those don'ts? That is what they're explaining now. Sa shraddhaya bhagavad dharma charyaya. Sa shraddhaya bhagavad dharma charyaya. Jijnasayatmatmika yoga nishtaya. Yogeshwaropasanaya cha nityam punyashrava kadhaya punyaya. And so this is about having faith, sa shraddha, bhagavad dharma charyaya, doing the devotional activities, charyaya activities. Jijnasaya, inquisitiveness. Adhyatmika yoga nishtaya, nishta, with steadiness doing this adhyatmika yoga. Yogeshwaropasanaya, worshipping the Lord, the Yogeshwara, nityam, every day, all the time. Punya shrava kadaya, shravanam. Doing all this, punyaya cha, they are pious by themselves. So these are all the do's to have faith, to have the inquisitiveness, to do the shravanam, and to do the glorification and the worship of the Lord regularly. Does it remind you of something? Panchanga Bhakti. Same thing, right? Yogeshwaropasanaya is Shri Murti Seva. Punya Shravaya is Shravanam. Sa Shraddhaya Bhagavad Dharma Charyaya, doing these devotional activities like hearing, chanting, Harinam. Right? So these are all the do's that can attach us to the Lord. Panchanga Bhakti. Those are the do's that can attach us to the Lord. And don'ts. This is beautiful. This is Sanat Kumara, one of the four Kumaras. He is saying, what is he saying? Arthendriyaram saghostasnayam tat sammatanam aparigrahena cha viviktarucha paritosha atmani Vina Harir Gunam Piyusha Panat. Beautiful, beautiful. This is pertaining to all of us. Arthendriya Arama Sagoshta Ashnaya. Artha Indriya Arama Sagoshti Ashnaya. Artha, wealth, Indriya, senses. Arama, gratification. So, whoever is cherishing the happiness of wealth and senses, in other words, materialistic people means whoever is interested in the enjoyment of the senses and the wealth and the position. Sagoshti Arsnaya, quitting their association. Tatsammatanam aparigrahena cha, not only them, whoever is favoring that material relishment, quitting their association also. It means there are three levels here. One is not only physically distancing from the people who are interested in accumulating the material assets, interested in accumulating the prestige, the fame, all these things. Not associating with these people who give importance to this. Very important, because whoever we are associating with, their influence will be on us. So whatever they are glorifying, whatever is important for them, whatever they value more, can be rubbed off on us. This is why the Shastra says in Nectar of Instruction also, it is said that keeping distance from those people who consider these material things as valuable. And not only keeping distance from them, but tatsammatanam aparigrahena cha, not only the people, but any topics and any media that glorify that. I mean, everywhere in this world now, excepting one or two channels that are spiritual, every channel that we open, everywhere in the media is all about valuing and glorifying how to accumulate things here and how to indulge in the things here. Such an unfortunate situation. This is swimming against the current. 95-98% of the society and the media everywhere is sense indulgence. That is the standard. So much of how much of you get it, so much you are happy. This kind of atmosphere. Staying away from that too. Not only from the people, but from that kind of influence in any way, staying away from that. If we are not doing that, detachment to the material entanglement will not happen. Because the whole point, as this Kumaras is saying, is the purpose of the life is to detach from this material entanglement. How can the detachment happen if we are spending our time with those who are entangled materially and glorifying that and living for that, right? So this is why distancing from them. And there's one more thing here. So does it mean that we don't talk to them at all? Here, two things. If we are influenced by them, then it means they are giving their association to us, and our bhakti slowly gets diluted. Yeah, because of the dirt of the material attachment. But as we become strong and established in bhakti, and if they are influenced by us, and if they are developing taste in the transcendental matters, then that is good. Then we are giving association to them. And that is the purpose of life. We give the association to them so the bhakti can be transferred to them. That is preaching, that is prachar. So that can happen. So distancing from materialistic people in the sense, we don't get influenced by them, though we have to mingle with them in the society and at workplace or anywhere. We don't get affected by them. see that our bhakti somehow gets into them. That is the association. Yeah? So this is one thing Sanat Kumara is saying, that one should distance oneself from the materialistic people, especially for us who are in Komala Shraddha, in the very beginning stages, where our faith is not very strong. Their influence can be greater without our knowledge, because they may be having wonderful qualities. At the same time, they have this sense entanglement. So we get bewildered. So that is something to be kept in mind in the initial stages, when the Shraddha is still delicate in the beginning. We have to make sure that we are not influenced by those bewildering values that are attached to the sense gratification in this world. And the next point is Vivikta Ruchya Paritosha Atmani Vina Harir Guna Piyusha Pana. This is beautiful. Sanat Kumara is saying, one has to plan their life and their day, their time. Vivikta Ruchya, feeling disgusted. Paritosha Atmani is relishing. Vina Harir Guna Piyusha Pana. So Paritosha Atmani Harir Guna Piyusha Pana. Paritosha Atmani, the enjoyment, the bliss that Atma gets when Harir Guna Piyusha. Again, Guna Piyusha. Guna is qualities of Lord Hari. Piyusha, drink. Drinking the transcendental qualities of Lord Hari gives paritosha to the Atma. Piyusha Panat. Panat is to drink. Piyusha, the nectar of Guna of Lord Hari, should be drunk to give bliss to the Atma. And one should plan in such a way, Vina. If that is not happening, Vivikta Ruchya, disgusted. In other words, one should so constantly be drinking the Guna of Lord Hari to experience the bliss in the Atma, that if there is any interruption in drinking that Piyusha Atmani, one should feel disgusted. It means Kirtaniya Sadahari. So one should be doing this bhakti so much so that if there is an interruption, one should not be tolerating it. So one should do bhakti to such an extent that they go into withdrawal if they are not doing bhakti. That's what Sanat Kumara is saying. So we may be thinking, okay, bhakti a little bit here, little bit there, little bit here, little bit there. And we are not having any progress. We are not having any ruchi. Why are we still suffering? Yes, Sanat Kumara is saying, we want to do bhakti so much so that we go into withdrawal, miss it, and feel disgusted that we are not doing for that period of time. So get attached to that so much. That's what I say. So these are the do's and don'ts. Do's we have heard: faith, inquisitiveness, the Panchanga Bhakti. And the don't is the materialistic association or attachment to that thoughts, the material thoughts of Raga Dvesha also. And arranging our time in such a way that we cannot stay without doing bhakti, even for a little bit of time. That's a beautiful state. It means we have to prioritize bhakti. The time it needs, the thought it needs. Am I arranging my life like that? Giving the time it needs? Giving the quality thought it needs? Yeah. That's what Sanat Kumara is saying. And the other things that can help us in bhakti is ahimsaya, non-violence. Paramahamsa Acharya. Paramahamsya Charyaya. Paramahamsas, the Paramahamsas, Mahajanas, Charyaya. Follow in the footsteps of the Acharyas again and again. starting from the very beginning, if you remember, that's the conversation between Suta Goswami, when he starts to recite. That's when, starting from that first canto, this Paramahamsa Charyaya, following the footsteps of the Acharya, is the prime thing in the do's. And that's why in Nectar of Instruction also Sri Rupa Goswami says, Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartana Sangatyaga Sato Vritti Shadvidir Bhaktir Pranashyati. How to increase your bhakti? Pranashyati. He says all this, Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya, everything. And Acharya's comment, amongst all those, Sangatyaga Sato Vritti. Sato Vritti is the key. Sato, Sata, Santa, saintly association is the key. Here also, Paramahamsa Charyaya. Why is it like that? Because when we associate with the saintly people, the effect of their saintly behavior, saintly qualities touches our heart, first of all. And the faith that we need in bhakti, the inspiration that we need in bhakti from within, that is gotten from these saintly people. And also the guidance that we need, how to do bhakti, is all obtained from Sato Vritti. From Sato Vritti comes Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya, Tatta Karma Pravartana, do's and don'ts regulations, how to do it. Sangatyaga, the determination to do Sangatyaga, not associate with the material things. That comes with the attachment that we have for what these saintly people are saying. So that's why Sato Vritti is the key. Paramahamsa Charyaya is the key. And of course, Ahimsaya, non-violence. Smritya Mukunda Charitagraya Siduna. It's the same thing. Remembrance of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord. Yamair Akamair Niyamair Chapi. Yamair Akamair Niyamaya. Yama and Niyama, do's and don'ts. Do it. This is all sadhana bhakti. And Anindaya, do not blame anybody. That's one thing we want to remember. We are following a practice of bhakti that is given to us. And there are other religions, other spiritual paths, and everybody else is just following their own according to their capacity. So we don't want to look down on them. Don't do the ninda on them. So respect all followers. And nirihaya dvanda titikshaya. Dvanda titikshaya is, dvandva is two. Harsha, marsha. Happiness, sad. Sukha, dukkha. Raga, dvesha. These are all dvandvas. Titikshaya, tolerate. This word comes again and again, right? Tolerate. So like this. So these are all the do's again that can help for somebody to attach to the Lord. And the don'ts are to detach from the world, material things. So like that, Sanat Kumara is explaining to Prabhu Maharaj, and he also says how hearing Harikatha will help in detaching from things outside and attaching to the Lord. Because we are hearing this Harikatha, now we are knowing how to attach to the Lord. How our focus should be on Siduna, to drink the Bhakti Rasa. So Kamam Kashayam Malamantaratmana will be displaced. So in this way, Shravanam is very important. So we can attach ourselves to Bhakti and detach from the entangling sense gratification. So like that, Sanat Kumara, he explains about the do's and don'ts. And then he says by doing this, gradually one will no longer see any external sense objects because they have detached them. Not only physically detached from that, from the thought also, they have detached from the thoughts of raga and desha. This is the final thing that will hook us up to external thing. You know that story that we have heard The marriage party wanted to go to the other side of the river, but the boat was still hooked up there to the shore. This hooking up to the shore is attachment to the thoughts of material raga and dvesha. So when somebody does this sadhana bhakti like this, then Sanat Kumara says they no longer see any external sense objects, and they are no more disturbed by internal disturbances or obstacles in seeing Paramatma. So slowly he's saying by how this sadhana bhakti, when it is done like that, is coming to Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamayi Pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami sachame pranashyati, seeing Paramatma, the Lord, at all times and everywhere. He says like that. And then he winds down with these two beautiful slokas. He says, this is how we should understand the super soul and surrender unto him. The surrender word came again, Sharanagati to him. It feels like how difficult it is for these English-speaking people to do bhakti. Just with the surrender itself, will be like, what? They'll be thinking like that. But it's such a sweet word of Sharanagati. I want to come to you, my Lord. Anyway, so Sanat Kumara, he's saying, yeah. So with these do's and don'ts, if one does sadhana bhakti like that, they will come to the stage where they don't see any external object and they will see the Lord. So now do the Sharanagati to that Lord. And what exactly is that? What exactly is this bhakti through Sharanagati doing? Yatpada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karmashayam gratitam udgradayanti santaha tatvanna riktamatayo yatayo apirudha shrotaganas tam bhajan tam aranam bhajavasu Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya. Yat pada pankaja, lotus feet, palasa, the toes of the lotus, vilasa bhaktya. When the devotees are serving the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord, karmashayam gratitam udgratayanti santam. Karmashayam, the fruitative knot. Gratitam is the strong knot. The strong knot, the strong desire of karmashayam, that I want to do the karma, I want to get something from this world. That udgratayanti santaha, that knot is cut. Santaha, the devotees. When the devotees perform bhakti, they're not for the fruitative activity. To get something from this material world is a strong knot that is cut off. And can this be cut off by anything, any other kind of yoga? Tatvanna riktamatayo yatayo apirudha shrotaganastam aranam bhajavasu Tadvanna riktamatayo yatayo apirudha shrotaganas. Riktamatayo, who does not have this devotional mode, the jnanis or those yogis who are wanting siddhis, yatayo apirudha shrotaganas, in spite of putting a lot of effort, they will not be shrotaganas, the waves of sense enjoyment, they will not be able to control. That's why tam aranam bhajavasu just do the bhajan of Vasudeva, just do the bhakti. So only by doing bhakti, the waves of sense gratification, they can be controlled. And all the do's and don'ts that have been explained so far, do's and don'ts. Don'ts is pratikulasya vachana. Do's is anukulyasya sankalpa. So initially, all these do's and don'ts that we are trying to do in bhakti, sadhana bhakti, we are already in the process of sharanagati, to the process of bhakti. Not do something which can affect our bhakti. Do something which can make our bhakti strong. This is to the process in the beginning. Later on, it gets more personal to Guru and Krishna. That's when Yat Pada Pankaja Palasa Vilasa Bhaktya, the lotus toes of the lotus feet of the Lord, when they are worshipped. Like that. So sadhana bhakti or sadhya bhakti or raga bhakti, whatever it is, it has the potency to, as just described, to make all these external objects disappear and withstand any internal obstacles that come in our way to see Paramatma, Yomam Pashya. So, and this is the last verse by the four Kumaras. Yat pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya. That lotus feet, what does that do? Krucho mahaniha bhavarnavam aplavesham shadvarganakram asukhena titirshanti tattvam harir bhagavato bhajaniya mangrim kruthvodupam vyasanam uttara dustararnam Krucho mahan iha bhavarnavam aplavesham. In this bhavarnavam, in this ocean of material modes, Shadvarganakram, there are many sharks. Krucho mahan, very difficult to cross. Asukena titirshanti aplavesham, for those who are who does not have devotion. So asukena titirshanti, they go through a lot of difficulty to cross over this material, this ocean of material modes with so many sharks of sense gratification. But Tat Kumara is saying to Prat Maharaj, Tattvam Harir Bhagavato Bhajaniya Mangrim. But just do the bhajana of Bhagavati Angrim. Bhagavati, Bhagavan, Angrim, lotus feet. Do the bhajana of the lotus feet of Bhagavan. What will it do? Krutvodupam Vyasanam Uttara Dushtatarnam. Krutvodupam. It will become like a boat for you. The lotus feet of the Lord will become a boat, a strong boat for you that can make you cross over this material ocean. Otherwise, it is very difficult to cross this ocean which is filled with great sharks of sense gratification. That's why Bhagavato Bhajaniya Mangrim. Make this lotus feet of Lord Hari, the Bhakti, as your boat and then cross over. And there's one more beauty. Not only this strong boat of Lord Hari, Bhakti, will make us cross over this material ocean, big ocean. But it is also said, Samashritayena pada pallavaklavam, Mahatpadam punya yasho murari, Bhavambudir vatsapadam padam param padam, Bhava ambudir vatsapadam. Vatsapadam is the water in the footprint of the calf. So this huge material ocean will be minimized to so much to the footprint of the calf. And that too, we have a strong boat. So how easy it is becoming when the ocean is just condensed like that. So that is the beauty of the bhakti. That is the beauty of the bhakti. All those things that are very difficult to control, difficult to overcome, they're easily overcome when we are taking shelter of the process of bhakti. Yeah. So that is what Sanat Kumara is saying. Those are the instructions to Prithu Maharaj. And with that, Prithu Maharaj, he says, after hearing all this, Prithu Maharaj says, he heard all this. He's already a pure devotee. And he heard all this from these Mahajanas. And he's saying, how can I repay my debt to you? I am such a sense gratifier. I have no qualification. You came down, you gave darshan, and you are giving this transcendental knowledge. How can one repay the debt to these Mahajanas? Eridrishi Bhagavato Gatiratma Vada Ekantato Nigamabim Pratipaditana Dushyantva Karunaha Swakritena Nityam Ko Nama Tat Pratikaroti Vinoda Patram. This is Prithu Maharaj is addressing this to Sanat Kumaras, Sanat Kumara and all the other 4 Kumaras. For us, who are we addressing this to? Prithu Maharaj is saying, Eridrishi Bhagavato Gatiratma Vada Ekanta Nigamabi Pratipaditana. You Mahajanas, you have summarized all the Vedic scriptures and you are establishing the truth and paving the path, Gatir, to the self-realization, to the devotion. Tushyantvi Adarbha Karuna Swakritena Nityam. Please be satisfied. Adarbha Karuna. Oh, great souls having such unlimited Karuna, mercy. Swakritena Nityam. Please be satisfied with your own wonderful activities. Ko nama tat karoti. Ko nama tat pratikaroti vinoda patram. What is there in return that we could give to you? If we think that we can reciprocate, we can return the favor that you have done to us, it will be a great joke. It will be a laughing stuff. Even to think that we can give you back something for what we have received from you, even to think that would be a great joke. It means there is nothing, there is no way that we can repay the debt to what you are giving to us. Svakritena nityam. So, Tushyanti, please be satisfied with your own activities. When you have done these activities of preaching, this prachar, and when it is spreading over, and whatever little bit that we are trying to offer now, this is like Pratikaroti Vinoda Patram. And the other meaning is, Vinoda Patram is water in the cup of the hands. When we do the Sandhya Vandana, we are offering our worship to Mother Ganga by taking her own water and giving it to her back. Like that, we are receiving the bhakti from all these Mahajanas, and we are trying to do our best in bhakti, and then let this trying to do our best in bhakti be the water returning back to Ganga. So please be satisfied with whatever activities that you have done, the spreading of bhakti, and it's coming to us, and whatever little bit that we are able to. There is no way we can repay our debt to you. Srila Prabhupada, when he came, I mean, what was the situation here? Even for us too, whoever came from India, we never knew what that bhakti means, bhakti to Bhagwan means, Shuddha bhakti means. How can we repay our debt to our Gurujanas? They have changed our everything in life, not just the lifestyle, our perception, our priorities in the life. And they made us Krishnasya Vimukhat to Krishnasya Samukhat. And this is Ratir Durapana, as the Kumaras are saying. Durapa, this is very rare. To get this rati, to attachment to the Lord, to bhakti, is very rare. And we take life after life, life after life. There are 8,400,000 species, and this Brahmanda cycle is going on and on and on. Everybody is stuck in this karma cycle, and we are picked out from that karma cycle, from that Krishnasya Vimukhat, and we are being made Krishnasya Samukhat. We are being made attached to Lord Hari through the Shravanam from them, through the bhakti that they gave us. How can we repay this debt to them? There is no way. There is no way. But with whatever that they gave to us, whatever that we can practice with their mercy and whatever we can share with their mercy, we are asking that they be pleased with those efforts. This is our paristiti. So in this way, Prithu Maharaj then gives his words, offers his words back to all the four Kumaras. And then all the four Kumaras, they receive his worship very well, and they bless him and then go. They return back their abode. Yeah. And that's how he had the Sangha of this Santas, Mahajanas. And now Prithu Maharaj is heading back home, back to Godhead. He heard all this from the four Kumaras. He's heading back home. How did he go? After Prithu Maharaj, Prithu had this son Vijitatsva, right? The one who has retrieved the horses from Indra. That Vijitatsva, that will come in the story of Prachitas. But in any way, he gives this, he enthrones Vijitatsva, and then he retires Vanaprastha with his wife Archie, goes to the forest and then does severe austerities there. Austerities are voluntarily accepting the discomfort to the body because preparing for the detachment from this material world and from this body. Voluntarily doing it. That is Vanaprastha. To voluntarily detach from active social interactions, anything to do with this external things that can affect the body and mind, to voluntarily detach from them is the Vanaprastha ashram. It is said that when we are getting to 50s, we should start thinking about that. So this couple went to the forest. They did all these austerities, and Archie also went with him. She assisted in all his austerities, and she also lived an austere life there. In this way, Prithu Maharaj, he destroyed his gross body, subtle body, and then with the fire element, he invoked his own departure from the body. And in the same very fire, Archie, his chaste wife, entered into that fire. And all this is being seen by the Devatas in the Swargaloka. And they were thinking, wow, look at this human birth. Look at this Archie. These are the wives of the demigods. They were thinking, this human life is so short. But even in this short life, look at these humans. They are making such a successful, fruitful use of their life that they're going back to Godhead. Look at Archie, how she served her husband, and she's also going back to Godhead. And they say, Savanchito batatmatruk kruchrena mahata bhuvi ladva apavargyam manushyam vishayeshu visajjate. Vishayeshu visajjate is engrossing in the sense gratification, Vishaya. So all these demigods are saying, Arare savanchito batat madruk krichrena mahata bhuvi. This is really a cheating that is done to the Atma if they are performing krichrena mahata bhuvi. If they're performing so much difficult tasks and so many activities on this bhuvi, on this earth, manushyan, in this human body, if they are not utilizing latva apavargyam, if they are not utilizing this human body for the apavargyam, for the liberation, but in that place, if they're using this body in the entanglement of this world, activities of this world, vishayeshu vishajjate, in the engrossment of this Vishaya of this material world, how vanchita, how cheating is this? This is not good for the Atma. This is not good for the self, that they're using this Manushya body for this material purposes, but not for the spiritual purposes. That's what these demigods are saying. And they were praising. Archie and Pruthi Maharaj for utilizing that human body and then quickly heading back to the spiritual realm. So in this way, they head back to the spiritual realm. So that is about Pruthi Maharaj, the son of Kumaras coming down. We are actually supposed to do the Rudra Gita also, but I think we'll save it for the next one. Because Rudra Gita is also equally beautiful. Here, if we see, in the Sanat Kumara's discussion with the Pruthi Maharaj, instructions to the Pruthi Maharaj, that is, sorry, which one is that? Yeah, Sanat Kumara, right? So we'll just summarize what we have heard today. So here, when Pruthi Maharaj, what we have heard is how we have to receive these bhaktas that gave their life to Bhagavat Seva. That our possessions, whatever we have, will be purified when offered to them for the Bhagavat Seva. And by their Sangha, we are made Krishnasya Samukhat, from Krishnasya Vimukhat. So that is the only purpose why this Anugrahayena Charanti Nonam, Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya, this people of Janardana, that is the only purpose why they wander, travel around the world to benefit us, like that we have heard about those bhaktas dedicated life to the Bhagavata Seva, how to receive them and how they will purify us. And then when Pruthi Maharaj has asked, how can one in sense gratification and miseries be rescued? Then Sanat Kumara said, you are already there. You are already in Padaravindasya Gunanuvadani. You are absorbed in the transcendental mellows and the thoughts of the transcendental mellows of the Lord. And only that kind of absorption, as we absorb so much more, as much we absorb ourselves in the thoughts of the Lord, glories of the Lord, so much will be the Malamantaratmana washed away, that we have heard. So, drinking the Bhakti Rasa will displace the material Rasa, that we have heard. And after that, they have described about the do's and don'ts. We have heard that all the do's are meant to attach us to the Lord, to make us Krishnasya Samukhat. All the don'ts are meant to take us away from the material entanglement. And it was also instructed that we should do the bhakti, means Harir Guna Piyusha Panat. Drink so much of bhakti rasa, so much so that, so much during the day, so much during the lifetime, that any little bit of pause in between should make you go in withdrawal. This is what Sanat Kumara is saying. That is how much you drink Harir Guna Piyusha Panat. That is how much you should drink bhakti rasa. And other qualities are also mentioned, and we talked about Paramahamsaya Charyaya, that is Satovritti. How Satovritti, having the Sangha of Santa, can help us, give us the faith and inspiration and guidance to do the do's, and give us the strength to get away from the don'ts. That we have heard. And how the Katha will cause the attachment that we need for bhakti and detachment that we need from the external world. In this way, slowly the sadhaka bhakta will come to a state where he or she would not be seeing anything externally as obstruction, and also withstand internal obstructions that come in their way, seeing Paramatma everywhere. Yumam pashyati sarvatra. This is the glory of bhakti. And only bhakti can karmashayam kratitam udgratayanti santaha, can cut that knot of wanting anything from outside. That is fruitative activity. And the other process of will not be able to do so because there is no relationship with the lotus feet of Lord Hari. That's why tam aranam bhajavasudevam. That's why just take up the process of bhakti. The last one he said was, Sanat Kumara, to make the lotus feet of Lord Hari a strong bhakti boat that you can anchor to take shelter. So it can cross over, it can help you cross over this Bhavarnavam, the ocean of material modes with great sharks in it. Only bhakti boat, the lotus feet of Lord Hari, our devotional service, can help us cross over that we have heard. And then Pratamara says, it is impossible. There is no way that we can repay the favor that we are receiving from you, Mahajanas. So please be satisfied with your own merciful acts that you are showering upon us, and whatever we are able to do is your mercy. So please be satisfied upon that. There is no way we can repay you. Whatever service that we are offering, kindly be satisfied. That's it. And then we have heard about how Prithvi Maharaj has gone back and the demigod saying, oh, this is so beautiful. These humans are short-lived, but still in that short life only, they are knocking their goal. They're able to go back to Godhead. This is so good. This Manusha Janma is meant to get liberated from this Brahmanda. And how sad it is if somebody is spending their life in this human body to for the Vishaya Bhoga, for the sense gratification. That's what the demigods say. So in this way, Prithvi Maharaj and his wife Archie, this I'll close this one with this beautiful picture of how they are heading back to Godhead. Yeah, this is how they are heading back to Godhead. Maharaj Prithu and Archie. There's one more point I wanted to mention here. Look at this picture. You know Sati Sahagamana? We would wonder what this Sati Sahagamana is. In those days, those chaste wives, their life aim is only to assist their devotee husbands who are doing their spiritual journey. They also know that they will be getting the same destination as their husband. So Manasa, Vacha, Karma, for them, their husband is their pati. And he will take us to a better destination in the spiritual realm. So that way they're so much attached to their husband because they are he is paving the path for her to the spiritual realm. So that is more of spiritual devotional attachment. So when these husbands leave the body, their wives, they cannot tolerate that separation. For them, the separation is so painful to live without their beloved husband, who has been their spiritual partner, and taking them to the destination where they are. That pain for them is so much that they think entering into the fire is less painful for them. This is something that we cannot comprehend in this age of Kali Yuga. We can't even comprehend what chaste wife means in this age of Kali Yuga. So, but that is the glory of that age. And in this day and age, Sati Sagamana is understood differently, forcefully, pushing the widows into the fire. This has all been distorted now. But That is the origin. I mean, that is why the Sati Sagamana was very natural in those days, like Draupadi entering into the fire and Prithu Maharaj, the wife of Prithu Maharaj entering into the fire. It was not painful for them. It's just they're going to their destiny, their superior destiny like that. So that is a little word that I wanted to just bring out. One more sweet thing from Prabodhananda Saraswati that came to my mind when we saw this picture is Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. He said, Gaura, he's maddened with the nectar of Gaura. He says, a devotee, when he spends his life Agnata, not even known by anybody around, and when he leaves this body, and nobody knows about that, nobody knows about where he is and how he is leaving the body. If a devotee is able to maintain that amount of detachment to outside, is very glorious. That his life and leaving the body just remains Ajnata, unknown. Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagati shakamali mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatat bhakti haiti. So need nothing from this world, not even identity, not just recognition, but not even identity, not being known to the people too. That is a glorious bhakti, that's a glorious departure. That nobody knows that when he has left this world or she has left this world, that great detachment from this world, that nobody knows that devotee is a glorious devotion. That's Prabodhananda Saraswati saying. I thought I just mentioned that. Not so much related to the Charita here, but just that picture itself reminded me of what Prabodhananda Saraswati is saying. Because look at the Prithu Maharaj. How glorious was his life. He did so many supernatural things, actually. Right? He led such glorious life. But now, when it's time to leave everything behind in this world, just go to the forest. Nobody's around there. And those ashes, nobody knows. And then back home, back to Godhead. So this is also a beautiful part of the journey, how one departs. All right, dear devotees.